The Château de Lalande is a place that carries centuries of history in its stone walls. Its turrets, its chapel, and even its gardens seem to whisper stories of both grandeur and sorrow. Today, millions of people around the world know it through YouTube, where it appears like something out of a dream. Candlelit dinners, sparkling parties, and laughter shared between friends unfold in its grand salons. Yet, behind the beauty and charm lies a much deeper story. The woman who brought Lalande back to life, Stephanie Jarvis, has lived through challenges, heartbreak, and determination that shaped not only her life, but the way the world now sees this remarkable chateau. Stephanie is adored by her viewers. She is the radiant figure at the center of the Chateau Diaries, the series that transformed Lalande into an international symbol of elegance, history, and community. But before her audiences saw the magic, Stephanie's life had already been marked by loss, resilience, and the pursuit of dreams that most would never dare to follow. Her story is not simply about owning a French chateau, it is about how personal tragedy, boundless creativity, and unwavering belief carried her toward the life she lives today. Stephanie's story begins far from rural France. She was born in London to Derek and Isabel Jarvis. From the start, she grew up in a household that was filled with contrasts, forms. He filled their home with art and eccentric ideas, and most importantly, he believed that no dream was too big for his daughter. To him, life was not about following practical paths, but about chasing visions that seemed impossible. Her mother, Isabel, brought a very different strength. She was elegant, sharp, and practical, providing the grounding balance to Derek's romantic spirit. Together, they gave Stephanie both wings to dream and the roots to remain steady. Music, culture, and performance became central to Stephanie's childhood. She was drawn to the stage and to beauty in all its forms. At Oxford and later at Trinity College of Music, she developed her talents further. She trained as a soprano and immersed herself in history, literature, and the arts. Those years shaped her into more than a dreamer. They gave her discipline and appreciation for the craft behind beauty. The brightest light in her young life would also cast the deepest shadow. Derek's passing in 2009 left Stephanie with a loss that changed everything. It was not only the loss of a parent, but the loss of her greatest supporter, the one who always believed in her. For Stephanie, it marked the end of one chapter and the uncertain beginning of another. Yet, even before that tragedy, she had already chosen a path that would shape her future. In 2005, with her close university friend Nick and her then-boyfriend Michael, Stephanie sold her London flat. Instead of buying a practical home, they took a leap of faith and purchased a 16th-century chateau in the French countryside. But Château de Lalande was far from the fairy tale castle people see today. It was crumbling and neglected. The roof leaked, asbestos still lingered, and both plumbing and electricity were failing. Winters were so cold that frost formed on the inside of the windows, and the young owners often sat bundled in coats and blankets, their breath visible in the freezing air. The estate carried a long and haunting history. For nearly 200 years, it had belonged to the Marquis de Nadillac family. One of its most tragic stories dated back to 1865, when a 5-year-old boy from the family drowned. Grief-stricken, his parents built a chapel at the chateau in his memory, and the echoes of that sorrow seemed to linger when Stephanie first stepped through its doors. For many, such a place would have been overwhelming. Yet Stephanie stayed. What followed were years of relentless work, mostly unseen by the outside world. For nearly a decade, Stephanie and a small circle of friends labored to restore Lalande. There were no cameras, no cheering crowds, only long hours of hard work, endless expenses, and the constant worry of whether the dream could survive. Septic tanks had to be installed, asbestos had to be removed, boreholes were drilled for geothermal heating. Every step forward seemed to demand 2 more sacrifices. Through it all, Stephanie faced not only the physical challenges of restoration, but also the weight of personal grief. Her father had passed away just as the project began, and without his unwavering support, she had to find the strength to carry on from within herself. Her relationship with Michael ended, Nick returned to London, and yet Stephanie remained. She lived through nights of bone-deep cold, through financial strain, and through the loneliness of holding on to a vision when others doubted. The irony of those years is that the hardest part of her journey went unseen. By the time audiences discovered Lalande, much of the most painful sacrifice had already been endured. In 2018, Stephanie's life changed dramatically. She was invited to appear on Escape to the Chateau Diy, a program that showcased people restoring historic properties across France. Expecting it to be a small production with little impact, she agreed. Instead, the show struck a chord with audiences. Viewers were enchanted by the smiling chatelaine, her eccentric household, and the charm of Lalande. Encouraged by the response, Stephanie launched her own YouTube channel, the Chateau Diaries. At first, the videos were simple glimpses into daily life at Lalande. They captured small renovations, candlelit meals, and moments of friendship. Yet, when the world entered lockdown during the pandemic, the channel transformed. As people everywhere faced isolation and uncertainty, they found comfort in Lalande. Stephanie's videos provided an escape into a world of beauty, history, and warmth. Viewers who were cut off from their own families felt a sense of connection in hers. What began as a modest project grew into an international community. Subscribers multiplied, and the channel became a lifeline for many who needed hope and comfort. With the success of the Chateau Diaries came both joy and challenges. Stephanie shared her life openly with her audience, including her relationship with Philip, who had first arrived as a volunteer. Their partnership, with a 21-year age gap, drew attention and conversation from viewers around the world. Some admired their love, while others questioned it. The openness of her channel also meant that heartbreak was shared publicly. The sudden death of Lancelot, the beloved chateau dog, was felt deeply not only by Stephanie but by thousands of viewers who mourned alongside her. It was a reminder that life at Lalande was not only about restoration and beauty, but about the full spectrum of human experience. The financial model that supported the restoration also drew attention. Patreon contributions, sponsorships, and advertising revenue became central to keeping the dream alive. Stephanie addressed these concerns with openness, emphasizing the distinction between her personal income and the funds dedicated to restoration projects. Yet, the scrutiny highlighted the delicate balance between private life and public expectation. 2 decades after she first walked through its doors, Château de Lalande is no longer a ruin. Its salons are restored, its gardens thrive, and its rooms echo with life and laughter. What once seemed impossible has become a living testament to perseverance. Lalande is not just a monument of French history. It is also a monument to the resilience of one woman who refused to give up. What makes Stephanie's story remarkable is not simply that she bought a castle. It is that she endured loss, doubt, and hardship, and transformed all of it into something that could inspire and connect millions of people across the world. Stephanie's journey raises important questions. What is the cost of a dream? How much must be given? And how much of oneself must be shared when private life becomes part of public storytelling? These questions remain open, but one truth is certain. Stephanie Jarvis has given her audience far more than an escape into the French countryside. She has given them a story of resilience, of beauty born from struggle, and of life lived with courage. Through the Chateau Diaries, Lalande has become more than a chateau. It has become a symbol of hope, connection, and the belief that even the most fragile dreams can, with enough love and determination, be made real.